The man turned around and saw a horrible scene, and was so scared that he immediately hid behind a wall. Fortunately, the zombie who came over was a blind man, and did not see to Junyu, who was hiding nearby. After the zombies walked away, Junyu immediately returned to his home, but the sound of the door closing instantly attracted the attention of the zombies. Although the zombies are walking corpses without the ability to think, they still retain some human muscle memory. They tried to use the door lock to open the gate. Fortunately, the zombies left here on their own after a while. At night, the city's power system was completely cut off due to an explosion. Without food, Junyu knew he was doomed to die. In order to avoid being bitten to death by zombies, Junyu decided to give himself a decent death. He put his neck into the rope loop and kicked away the stool, preparing to hang himself. However, just as he was about to suffocate, an infrared ray suddenly, it shot onto his face. The infrared rays were emitted from the building opposite, and Junyu immediately gave up the idea of committing suicide when he saw the collision. He tried to get out, but the rope was tied so tightly that he couldn't get out. Fortunately, after struggling for a few minutes, the rope suddenly broke and he saved his life. Looking in the direction of the infrared rays across the building, he found that there was only a young girl looking at him through a telescope. Junyu was very excited when he saw the collision. It's a pity that there are still some human beings alive in this doomsday. Because it was too dark at night to communicate, the girl and Junyu agreed to meet at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Connect. Like Junwoo, Soo-yeon was forced to hide in her home and wait for rescue after the zombie outbreak. But compared to Junyu, Soo-yeon's life. His storage skills are obviously higher than Junyu's. Not only did she eat the food in the house in installments over 3 years, she also planted traps in every corner of the room ready to kill her at any time. Prepare to fight against the zombies that break in. The next morning, Junyu and Soo-yeon exchanged their names on a billboard. Junyu was seen holding his stomach and was angry, powerless. Soo-yeon saw that Junwoo must have been hungry for a long time, so she picked up a baseball, tied a rope to it, and prepared to throw the baseball into the room where Junwoo was. The food can be passed to Junyu via a rope. But what he didn't expect was that due to his lack of strength, the baseball fell directly onto the awning below. Fortunately, the sound of the baseball hitting did not attract the attention of the surrounding zombies. Junyu realized Soo-yeon's purpose and took out a drone. Then he tied the rope to the drone and successfully came in front of Soo-yeon. With the food supply from Soo-yeon, Junwoo, who had been hungry for 18 days, could finally eat well. Last meal. But at this moment, Junyu suddenly saw a zombie firefighter downstairs playing with the tied-up thing that Soo-yeon had just thrown down. Baseball on rope. Seeing this, Junyu immediately signaled Soo-yeon to throw the whole rope down. However, before Soo-yeon could react, the zombie suddenly pulled hard and caused Soo-yeon hit her head against the table and fainted on the spot. Seeing the zombies climbing up the rope, Junyu could only throw things in the direction of the zombies to try to lure them away. This attracted the zombies' attention, but the zombies not only ignored it, but also sped up their pace to crawl towards Soo-yeon's room. Junyu had no choice but to control the drone. The drone was trying to interfere with the zombies hanging in the air, but it didn't last for a few seconds before the zombie slapped it down. I thought Soo-yeon was going to be killed by the zombies, but she didn't expect at the critical moment. Soo-yeon woke up and sent the zombies directly back to the ground. Although the two were temporarily out of danger, a few days later, Soo-yeon. The food they planned to eat for half a year is almost gone. In order to survive in this doomsday, they must find more food. Taking advantage of the night. In the dead of night, Junyu was ready to go out to look for supplies with a baseball bat in hand. He saw the neighbor he had pushed out of the door a month ago lying on the ground with his limbs broken. On the ground, he endured the nausea and found a bunch of keys on his neighbor, then went to his neighbor's house to see if there were any useful supplies. But as soon as he entered the door, seeing a young girl lying in the bedroom, Junyu threw a shoe at the girl. After seeing that the girl did not move, Junyu felt relieved and searched the room for try to find. However, more than a month had passed since the zombie outbreak. The city's power supply had long been cut off, and the food in the refrigerator had basically rotted and turned ugly. Some canned drinks with additives were barely edible, and fortunately, he also found 2 walkie-talkies. After looting the supplies, Junyu came again. He went to the girl's room and collected money to see her face. Unexpectedly, a zombie suddenly jumped at Junyu from behind. After being bitten by a zombie, Junyu immediately held the girl's body in front of him and then took advantage of the zombie's inattention to escape from the neighbor's house and ran back to his own house. My own home. This was the most filling meal Junyu had had in the past half-month. He then put some of the food and a walkie-talkie into the box, and the box was delivered to Soo-yeon through a rope. Soo-yeon took the intercom and thanked Junwoo on the other side. However, before they could talk for a few more seconds, suddenly, Junyu heard loud and noisy footsteps outside. Junyu opened the balcony door and saw the zombies below were collectively making a noise. The zombies started rioting and ran in one direction at the same time. The corridor of the building was soon occupied by zombies. Junyu and Soo-yeon immediately lay on the floor. Dare not breathe, Soo-yeon wanted to get an axe to defend herself, but accidentally pushed down a shelf, causing the zombies outside to stop rioting, and slowly approaching Soo-yeon's house, Soo-yeon told Junyu everything that had just happened. Seeing that time was urgent, Junyu hurriedly asked Soo-yeon's house number, and then, when the zombies were about to break in, the phone in the next room suddenly rang and attracted all the zombies. Ji called the neighbor's phone and saved Soo-yeon from the disaster. With this unexpected warning, the two knew that if they continued to stay like this, they would either starve to death or be found and bitten to death by zombies. They had to gather together as soon as possible to find a solution. Since Soo-yeon had experience in surviving in the wild, so she had to take the initiative to go to Junyu's room. As a safety rope was fixed in the room, Soo-yeon jumped out of the room without saying a word. She quickly swung downstairs, but the moment she landed, a large number of zombies attacked her. To avoid being bitten by the zombies, he pushed the zombies away one by one, then took out the climbing plan and held all the ugly zombies' heads. This series of actions made Junyu upstairs look a little proud. She felt ashamed, but there were too many zombies below. Just as Soo-yeon picked up a pistol, a zombie suddenly appeared and threw Soo-yeon to the ground. When Soo-yeon was about to be bitten by a zombie, a stick suddenly appeared and grabbed the zombie's head. It turned out that Junwoo realized that Soo-yeon was in danger and jumped down from the building to support her. With Junyu's help, the two quickly broke through the siege and came to a building. After reaching the upper floor, they found that there are zombies. I was planning to find a room to hide temporarily, but unexpectedly a zombie suddenly appeared at the end of the corridor. Junyu was about to kill the zombie. As the zombies rushed down, Soo-yeon hurriedly tried to find a way out and opened the door, while Junyu. After trying every possible way to slow down the zombie's attack, just when Junyu was about to be bitten in the thigh by a zombie, Soo-yeon finally opened her anus the anus was pulled into the anus, and then a smoke bomb was thrown at Junyu. As expected, Junyu was also successfully rescued by the mysterious force. They were accompanied by an uncle who thoughtfully poured them 2 glasses of water to calm their nerves and provided them with food to fill their stomachs. Yeon saw a family photo on the bookshelf. She curiously asked where the uncle's wife was. The uncle took a long puff of his cigarette and said his wife was gone. The kids were waiting for lunch, but they didn't expect that Junyu and the other guy fainted at the table right after the uncle finished speaking. It turned out that the water and food had been... The uncle added a drug, tied Junyu's hands, and dragged the unconscious Soo-yeon into a room. As the door of the room was closed again, the uncle untied the rope on the other door. On the other side of the rope was a woman who had turned into a zombie. This woman was the uncle's wife.